Okay, this is going to be a video review of the JVC Adixxion GC-XA1 action camera, which is awesome, except the video quality is not that great, and this button on top is sticking already. I've had it 1 month, and I was fairly happy with the video quality. It's not as good as a GoPro, but it was good enough that I was going to keep the camera. But now this button has started sticking, and I'm pretty disappointed with that, and probably not going to keep the camera. So I'll tell you the good things about the camera. It is so small and lightweight that it's very easy to mount in very many different places on your bicycle. It takes decent quality video, but not exceptional quality. It has an 1¼ by 20 tripod mount there, an 1¼ 20 by tripod mount on the side, which makes it very versatile as far as mounting. So you can either mount it like this, or you can mount it on with something that comes in from the side. It also has a menu option that lets you invert the picture. So instead of mounting the camera like this, you can mount the camera upside down and have the camera automatically invert the picture so that it's right side up, and you don't need to use video editing software to fix the image. So another thing that I really liked about this camera was it took 720p 60 frames a second video, which it gets rid of a lot of the waviness in your video if you're riding a mountain bike. It also has nice, easy to use menus. I'll turn it on here, and the display will come on. It's videoing my hand right now. I don't have a memory card in there, that's why I'm getting that message there. It has a green LED that's a little hard to read in bright sunlight, and also it's on the front of the camera, and if you have the camera out in front of you, you really can't see it without trying, like getting very far forward on your bicycle to actually see what the LED says. And again, hard to read in daylight. When you start recording, that turns to green. Now see, I just pushed this button and it's stuck in a downward position and I can't get it up. So I'm not going to be able to show you many of the features. Another feature I really liked about this was the time-lapse photography. It takes one frame every 1 second or one frame every 5 seconds. So you get the time-lapse mode, and it creates a movie. The GoPro creates a series of images that you have to combine into your movie. This actually creates a movie. The bad thing with the time-lapse is the display does not shut off, and your battery will run down in about 2 hours. And it takes about 4 hours, 3.5 to 4 hours to recharge your battery, regardless of time-lapse. But so if you wanted to get a really long video of driving someplace in time-lapse, you'd have to change the battery every couple hours. I did have another camera where you could shut the display off and it would record longer on the battery. Unfortunately, this one, there's no way to shut the display off. I called JVC and asked them that. So this is stuck. Opening the back was a little tricky for me the first time. You pull down on this, slide to the left, and the door opens. What's really great about this is it takes a standard SD card, not a micro SD card as some real tiny cameras take. And if I can figure out which way to put this in. The bad thing is the spring. I don't know if it's good or bad, but the spring is so strong that I have actually shot my memory card out of here onto the ground on several occasions trying to get it to seat in. It has a standard micro kind of USB charging thing, and I do like that it's a standard USB cable. It came with a goggle mount, which is a very strange looking thing. This is your goggle thing that goes in your straps. It came with, it sits on here. I don't know how you would twist this to attach the tripod while this was on here. And it attaches with these tiny little screws, and they do give you a tiny little screwdriver. So weird setup. I think it would be awful. This is where you would probably have this on the side of your head mounted to your goggles, and you would screw the camera in this way. I assume you'd have to probably screw the camera in like this. Anyway, it also came with a tiny little lens cap, and the lens cap, unfortunately, clips on. It affects your video quality to some degree, so you don't want to leave it on. And it's really hard to remove. I don't know why. It's like a hard plastic, and you get two of these. I already lost one. It's a hard plastic and it's clear, so it's really easy to misplace, and it is not easy to get off, so I'm not going to try to remove it. I'm going to shut the camera off now, and I will show you some video that I've taken with the camera. And there's one thing I did do. I can't get this door to close. One thing I did do was I took video with the camera as it comes out of the box, and the audio, when with the wind noise from the audio, this is your microphone there, and it's got a little speaker here, but the microphone with wind noise is absolutely horrendous. So this is the JVC in 720p, 60 frames a second. So I covered that with tape. I'm going to put a new piece of tape right over the microphone hole. Okay, I got it over the microphone and part of the speaker, and see if that's any better. Helped a lot with the wind noise, and you could hear people talk, and you can hear me breathe and stuff like that, so that's good. So as I said, really easy to mount everywhere on your bike. It doesn't interfere with anything. You can mount it lots of different places. In my first day of testing, I had the camera mounted on my handlebars. When you're riding along, you're constantly moving your handlebars back and forth, and it induces a lot of motion, which I don't think looks good at all. On the second day of testing, I mounted the camera on this tube using the JVC rollbar mount, which actually wasn't big enough to fit around the tube on my mountain bike, but it gave me a view looking forward, and it came out pretty cool. JVC mount is pretty convenient, but it's not, you can't snug it up real tight. It did get it to stay in place pretty well. Pull on this strap to tighten it, and you push to release, so it's really easy to take on and off. The way that I got it to stick better on the frame was by using a piece of this is an inner tube from a road bike tire. Pull this like that, and the problem is you really can't get it tight enough to be totally firm in place. So here I have the ram mount with the medium extension arm and the camera mounted on the end, facing backwards on my bicycle to get riders as they're riding towards me. I think I'll take the seat bag off so it doesn't vibrate on the camera. different places. So that's awesome about the camera, that you can mount it upside down. It does take decent video, and you can fix the audio by covering that with tape. But this button problem is quite unfortunate because it's rather important to be able to start recording and stop recording. And you know, this is supposed to be ATV tough or whatever, and I have just used it on a mountain bike. I haven't used it in inclement weather or anything. I haven't used it underwater. That's another great feature of this. You know, the GoPro you have to put into a housing. This you can just immerse in water all by itself. It's completely waterproof as is. You don't need an extra housing. So awesome little camera, great, you know, decent video, not as good as GoPro, but good enough that I was going to keep it. But now that this is bad, I bought this camera from Beach Camera, and they have a 45-day return policy. I'm at about 32 days, and I think it's going to go back. It does have the ability to do Wi-Fi, and I tried this out. I installed software on my PC, and you connect via your router, and it lets you put this camera like out in your backyard, and you could be watching your dog on your PC while this camera was sitting in your backyard. Of course, it's only going to last 2 hours because the battery will run out. But anyway, I'll show you some example footage, and you'll get an idea for how it looks. I think the footage looks very crisp and clear up close, but at a distance, the stuff that's in a distance, like distant trees and stuff, are all blurry, which is kind of disappointing because your subject has to be fairly close to you. And sometimes somebody might be following you at a distance on a mountain bike, and they don't look crisp and clear. And the focus seems to come in and out. I don't know if that's a factor of image stabilization. And I have tried it with both on and off and haven't really noticed much of a difference at all. So, great idea for a camera, super size, really glad it takes regular SD cards. The battery life is decent, probably about 2 hours, and it has a micro HDMI kind of thing and a micro USB. So everything is good, except not rugged. Apparently, now the button's coming up a little bit. Let's see if I can demonstrate that. No, it's stuck down. There it came up. Now it seems to be clicking. Maybe I can demonstrate some stuff. Okay, I have a memory card in here, and as you can see, that LED is green. The placement of this LED is not terrific. If you have this mounted on the front of your bike, you can see that you can't see it. And in bright daylight, the green light is not real visible. It would be great if they had an LED on the back also, and possibly even on the bottom for when you have it inverted. But unfortunately, there's one LED, it's on the front. It's frequently at an angle that you can't see it. And when you actually start recording, you'd hear that beep. It's a nice beep to tell you that it's recording. And the button blinks red, and that's easy to see in bright daylight. So I don't have a problem with that, other than it's frequently at an angle you can't see it. Now if I hit stop, it makes a double beep. Not real loud, but at least you can tell, if you can hear it, that you stopped and started recording. Try to start recording, and I'm going to stop recording. The button's stuck again. God damn it. Okay, I got it unstuck. Not good. So now I'm not recording. When you turn it off, it'll beep. So that's the off sound. And when you turn it on, it makes the same sound. So you really can't tell whether you turned it off or on. Which sometimes when you have this mounted and you can't see the LCD screen, and you can't see whether this button is on or off because of the angle, a lot of times I mount these low. I like having my camera mounted low on my bicycle. So a lot of times I can't see, and it's out front of me and low. And I can't see the side and I can't see the top. So I can't really tell for sure what is going on, especially in bright sunlight. It's a little hard to see whether or not this screen is lit up when you're looking at it like at this kind of an angle. And you're trying to say, oh, is that lit up or not? Or so you have to like rotate your head around so you can actually see the screen. So nitpicking there. I neglected to tell you about the other things it comes with. It comes with a power adapter for your, it's hard to plug in. Well, anyway, a power adapter for your wall, which plugs into the micro USB. And it comes with a sticky mount for your helmet and another sticky mount for your helmet, but this piece here is not included with this. And how much more would it have cost them to include this? This is a $349 camera. They could have stuck another one of these on top of this and you'd have 2 helmet mounts instead of a helmet mount and a spare. And I assume if this fell off and you lost it, this isn't going to do you any good at all because you're not going to have the piece, the tripod piece here. So, just another nitpick. You also get an instruction manual, which I have not read. The first thing you'll need to know is how to open it, because I couldn't figure this out for a little bit. But you slide this switch down and you push sideways, and then you flip this up, and that's all there is to opening it. To put in the battery, I had a little bit of trouble. See that blue thing there? I could not get that to slide to the side, so I have to angle the battery in a little bit to push that over, and then I can slip the battery in and it should latch. You can plug your camera into any USB port, which is good because I have some for my car. I have my computer, obviously, and I have a wall mount socket, which is what I'm going to use now. And you just plug this USB port into the USB thing here. Your display will come on, and it'll ask you if you're connecting to a computer, which would be USB, or an adapter, like a power source, which is what I am connecting to. And I'm going to hit the upper button to do that, and it should start charging. You'll see this light start blinking.